Well, hey there, guys. Mickey with CarryTrainer.com. Let's talk a little bit about reloads. I've got the Jersey Shore look going on here today. The sun is a-blazing out on the range, and I want to chat with you a little bit about reloading. More importantly, management of ammunition on our body with the gun, etc. I want to dig in to a couple topics I think worth talking about, such as what does the data say about reloading? What is the data from many hundreds and even 1,000 armed encounters? What does it tell us? Let's dig right into that right now. So reloading looks super cool for the gram, right? Punch that pistol out, go to slide lock, shove a new mag in, keep blazing it down. Hopefully after 80 tries, you get a clean one, and then everybody's like, damn, dude, that's awesome. How awesome is it? How important is it? Well, of course, keeping the gun fed is kind of job one. Let's go back to square one. What's the reason that we have these things, right? People in class, I say, why do we have it? Why are we here? What are we doing here? That's how we should start all training. What's the desired end state? Well, for me, I only carry one of these to protect life and liberty, right? Why do I want to do that? Let's go a step further. Because I like being alive, right? There's no reason to mince words. We don't want to die in violence. We want to live to be old people with all of our faculties, with a bunch of cute grandkids running around. This is merely a tool to aid me on that path. A tool for a very singular purpose. But we just did a video on carrying with an empty chamber. We saw lots of comments on that empty chamber video that it's a dead man's gun. It's nothing but a paperweight. No, it's actually a gun. It's a gun. If I load this or unload this, it's still a gun, right? Well, what about data? What's the data say? So before I began today, I called my friend Claude Werner. Claude Werner, aka the Tactical Professor. If you don't know who Claude is, you should look him up. Claude Werner, besides being a 23-year Army veteran, being a Green Beret, this guy's a really good shooter. So good that he was the lead instructor, I believe, or actually ran Rogers Shooting School for a long time. If you don't know who Bill Rogers is or Rogers Shooting School, go check that out. Very high-speed stuff, very data-driven, very well-organized training program. In addition, Claude spent his life gathering information on gunfights, be them the one he's currently working on with off-duty LAPD police officers or the hundreds and hundreds of everyday people like us that have been involved in fights. Why is that information interesting? Well, there's a couple things, trends that we see. There's a trend where we watch footage of violence and we say, well, that worked, that didn't work. There's a problem with that. There's a problem with just viewing footage and saying, I'm never going to do that because it didn't work. Are the people in these videos that we're watching trained? Yes, no. Are they trained? I don't want to base my training on what untrained people do. I want to base my training on what well-trained people do and what we know works, right? Does that make sense? So Claude, I called him and I said, hey, I'm going to do this video today on reloading. And he and I've had this conversation before. I've had him on the podcast and we've discussed this. We talk about it in class. And I said, has any data changed? He said, not only is it stayed the same, but it's maybe even better for the argument. Well, what's the argument? In 1,000 armed encounters, three reloads. In one of those reloads, was some gals fighting a lion that was attacking some animals, and they had to shoot it 13 times with a little revolver. That's pretty significant. That's pretty significant, right? So it's less than 1%. It's actually less than 0.5%. It's a tiny number. Here's the challenge, though, in this stuff. Well, what if it happens? Well, what if a cement truck runs you over? That could happen. All of this stuff that we're doing, we're weighing the odds, right? The odds are I'm never going to need this to defend myself. That's the odds. The odds are I'm never going to need it. But it's important enough to me that I train and I do it because the risk is high enough that if I need it, there could be a really bad outcome, right? It's such a risky endeavor. I could stub my toe any day of the week. but the risk of me stubbing my toe and getting a negative outcome is just me going, ah, damn it, I hit my foot, right? Me being involved in violence, not having a weapon and the skill and wherewithal to deploy the weapon, the outcome could be grave. I could be dead. My family could be dead. Thus, we try to make decisions based on the best data available. So out of all of these shootings, 1,000 that Claude had looked at, only 3 had reloads. I got a friend, his name's Vern Patterson. Vern likes to say, and Vern's a special operations dude, it's not the first round, it's the first relevant round. Well, what's that mean, relevant? This is where in this martial arts world, we start to add in some like secret mojo bullshit. Hope is not a course of action. Demoralization is not a course of action. What's demoralization? Look, mother effer, if you get out of that car, I'm coming after you, right? We're hoping to scare the person. Or you better not come any closer or I'll shoot you. Demoralization may work. We may demoralize an opponent through fear, through reason, but maybe not. Drugs, alcohol, mental illness, wanting to die, right? Death by cop, suicide by cop, this kind of thing. That's not a reliable course of action. So what is? Well, of course, not fighting is a reliable course of action if we can get away. But if we must fight, the reliable course of action is deploying force in a manner that stops the bad guy. So the first relevant round. So what does that tell us? It means I need to be really good at getting that gun up, getting a sight picture, and firing, right? I need to be really good at that, regardless of how we carry it. I need to have good ammunition. I need to have ammunition that's not only reliable, but does a really good job of offloading its energy into a target. Let's be honest, guys, pistols, 9mm, 45, pistols are not good at stopping human-sized mammals. If they were, we'd be out hunting deer with 9mm. We don't, because they just are pretty poor at that. It's a trade-off, right? It's a trade-off of I can have this on me, I can carry a bunch of rounds, and it's a bunch of holes we're poking. Ballistic gel tests and all that stuff aside, the data speaks out. In major metropolitan areas, the last time I looked, over 80% survivability of getting shot by handgun rounds. Over 80% if you're near trauma centers. That's a lot. That's a lot of people surviving. We're not shooting to kill people, we're shooting to stop them. It's a whole nother discussion. But let's talk about this reloading thing. How much time should you spend on the range? I say minimal. I say you should make sure that you've got good skills, but most of it can be done in dry fire. We can be working these movements in dry fire, right? I don't need to be on the range, but I'm going to demonstrate today some 1 reload 1 drills, maybe 1 reload 2, so we can work proper mechanics. I'm going to demonstrate it in a way that we do it in class, that there's going to be a bunch of good reps that we can tie a bunch of stuff together. So we're not just going to train bang, shove a new mag in, bang. We're going to train a whole bunch of things. And so for some of you guys, old coppers and soldiers and war fighters that have commented, what about this? What about that? Well, this is one of those what about this and what about that drills. This is kind of a let's do everything together. One more caveat. Anything that we train that we want to be good at, we need to train in isolation first. What do I mean by that? If you're a boxer, I'm not going to teach you how to jab and then say, okay, you've practiced for 30 seconds. Now let me have you fight Mike Tyson, right? That'd be stupid. You're going to practice that thing over and over and over and over and over again. You're going to spar. You're going to shadow box. You're going to hit a bag. Then maybe you get a real opponent and you try the thing, right? That's not how this stuff works. We don't just go, here's how to reload. Now do a bunch of other stuff. Nobody learns that way. Not football, not kids in school. We're not teaching you how to read and say, okay, now read the whole encyclopedia or now write a thesis, right? You are learning little bits at a time until we can ingrain those skills. So think about that. How are we going to set this up? First things first, eyes and ears. Got my Tactical RX. These are prescription. Sweet case. CarryTrainer for a discount code at Tactical RX. And my Pro Ears. Love Pro Ears. Made in the US of A up in Michigan. I'm going to load my Glock 19 here. Gun is loaded. I'm going to retrieve an empty magazine. I'm going to tack mag an empty mag in. So in this exercise, we're going to learn a bunch of weapon manipulations. So I remove the full mag and I insert an empty mag. So now when the gun goes empty, the gun goes to slide lock. Ain't that nice? So let's load this back up. Load, empty. So we call this movement here a tactical reload or a tack mag. Instead of taking this mag out, setting it down, and replacing, and yes, I know I'm putting an empty mag in the gun only so that the gun goes to slide lock, we retrieve the new magazine, index finger and thumb, and we swap. There's guys like my friend Steve Fisher, he hates the term tactical reload. The idea that me showing you this is not you're hiding behind a barrel and you're going, okay, I'm topping it off, because we'd retain the magazine that was diminished. The idea is we are learning really good skills, like a good carpenter with a hammer, like a good chef with a knife, right? Like a good dentist with a drill. We are learning to manipulate our gun. So we're going to recover to the holster, and we're going to put our mag in the #1 mag pouch. I've got a target out here at 10 yards, and here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to first go nice and controlled. The drill has begun. 1, 2, 3, 4, sight picture, shot breaks, finger straight, dump the magazine while the mag well's vertical, cant the mag well inboard, and I want you to look that mag right in. Seat lock, forcefully action slide, fire again. Drill is still going. If I've got more people out here, I'm going to scan the line to make sure it's safe. Finger high off the trigger. My muzzle's not pointed at the ground, because if it's pointed at the ground, it's about to be pointed at my hand. I'm going to dominate my muzzle. I'm going to pick my magazine up, index finger and thumb, and I'm going to top it or swap it back out. Yes, it's an empty mag. I need it empty for the gun to go to slide lock. Trigger guard's clear, holster's clear. So hierarchy of importance. What's more important? I play with this or I put the loaded gun away? More important to me is I get that gun put away, and now I can set that back up. Let me change camera angle slightly. Get this changed up slightly. What a beautiful day for filming out here with you guys. What a beautiful day. Nice cloud cover. Got the Jersey Shore look going on. Woo! Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finger straight. Notice this. Here's a detail. I'm dropping the mag while the mag well's vertical. I'm not doing this. Look, I'm pushing the button. Gravity's going to do what gravity does, and it's going to hold the magazine against the right side of the mag well. And then you end up doing the mag pull flippity flip, like my buddy Steve Fisher said. You again, Steve, I love you. Like the old mag pull days, right? A flip. Rather, let's learn to dump the mag while the mag well's vertical. Let it fall. So gun goes to slide lock, dump, retrieve new mag, seat, cycle, get the hit. Is it safe for me to bend over? Finger high off the trigger, bend down, pick it up, dominate the space around me, set it back up. Notice that time I put the mag away first. If we need our free hand to clear a cover garment or something like that, that's on you. But think about what's important now, the hierarchy of importance. Hierarchy of importance. So let's just run through it without talking. So what are we working in this drill? Well, manipulating the gun, right? I'm getting some magazine manipulations. I'm getting to work on my trigger finger domination, getting to work on paying attention spatially to what's around me. I'm getting to shake out the gear on my body. Good holstering process, getting my gear set up. What else am I working? Good draw stroke. What else am I working? Paying attention, looking around. What else am I working? Still manipulating. What else am I working? Getting to move around a little bit with a gun out safely, because in the real world, there's not a berm. There's not signs that say do not enter live fire range. There's not people going, hey, don't walk over that way. There's something going on, right? In the real world, you may have to be, you better be paying attention. Let's add some more to this now. Let's change the camera angle. I don't want you getting bored. New camera angle. So what else can we add to this extremely simple drill? Check it out. Finger straight, dominate the muzzle, pick it back up, set it up so we can incorporate movement. How about this? How about this? We can start to work in some knees. I want to be able to deploy this gun from any position I need to. Top off my light mag. We can add some more things to it. Multiple targets. Let's add another topic. Let's change camera angle. I'll bring you a lot closer. A lot closer. All right, so how are we actuating the slide? Years ago, I blew the internet up about 10 years ago, and I'm not the first one to talk about it. This item is called a slide lock lever, right? Slide lock lever. Not a slide release, but they work really good for it. Years ago, people said, never do that. Well, metallurgy is different. The guns can handle it. The argument, twofold. One, you're going to hurt the gun. You're going to peen the metal over by riding on that stop. You're going to wear it out, really. Wear out the slot in the slide, which would happen to old 1911s. You do this enough, and that 90-degree corner that catches the slide lock would get peened over. Machining term there, peening. What was the other argument? The other argument is that is a fine motor skill. In under stress and duress, fine motor skills degrade, and you'll never do that. This is a training issue. This is a training issue, not a human performance issue. You need to train it because guess what? Don't we also think that this little button, wouldn't this also be considered a fine motor skill? Wouldn't that also be a fine motor skill? If that's a fine motor skill, wouldn't this? And then wouldn't this also be considered a fine motor skill? Hey man, you just stop with your solid arguments and let me hold on to my freaking dogma. Okay, if that's what you want to do. We've got options. The options are, is the thing I'm training, let's base these options on, is it robust, repeatable, reliable? If you find that working the slide lock lever on your gun isn't reliable for you, then I wouldn't do it. But if you can reliably hit that slide lock lever, then I would do that. I prefer the overhand grip if I had to have just one. Overhand, slingshot, slide lock. And if you've got a dot on there, you put your hand right in front of the dot. For a little while, guys were coming out here. This became the thing. You guys started running their guns here because it became fashionable to get these front serrations cut on everything. Thus, everybody started running their gun that way at the time. What's the problem with my hand here? Well, look where my hand is in relationship to the muzzle. I don't want to put my hand out there if I don't have to. So I prefer, if I had a default, the overhand grip. It's going to work on any gun. But I have zero issues with the slide lock lever. Let's look at it. Set it back up again. Empty mag in. Gun goes to the holster. I'm going to move you to the other side of me. How about that? And then we can see. Here we go. We'll go overhand. Dump in overhand. Safe to bend over. Set it back up. We got a helicopter overhead. Hopefully the audio's not getting hosed. Let's go slingshot. The slingshot. Here we go. Up. Scoop her up. Let's go slide lock lever. Which is fastest? This, by far. That's not Mickey's opinion. You walk in any competition range in the world. Let me set this back up, and that's where you are going to see the fastest shooters in the world. Well, I don't care what they're doing. Well, you should. You should care, because the best war fighters in the world, who do they go to learn how to shoot better? They don't go to some douche at the local gun store that thinks he knows everything. They go see Jerry Michalik, Jerry Barnhart, Robbie Latham, right? JJ Racaza, Max Michel. They go to the best shooters on the planet, to say, what are you doing? How can we get an edge against our opponents with the things that you've dedicated your life to? That's how we press performance. My pickup truck has stuff in it that race cars used to have in it 10 or 20 years ago. Now with that stuff, that's how it works, right? Eventually it just becomes normal stuff. So reloading, is it important? Well, yeah, you should be able to keep your gun up and running. One of the guys commented the other day, I could have watched 19 minutes to just hear him say, yeah, it's important. There's more to this stuff than just the mechanical manipulation. Here's something that we say in class. When we come back to the holster, we say recover to the holster. And early on, we define what recovery means. It means I'm going to put this gun away in the condition and position I want to find it in should I need it to save life. That means I'm not putting it away with 5 rounds in the mag. That means I'm not putting it away with an empty chamber. If that's how I carry, that's your thing. That means I'm not putting it away with a sight about to fall off, or the dot with a dead battery, or the holster funked up. It means, I almost swore, it means that I am putting the gun away exactly how I want to find it. Look, if you're out training, does that mean you need to be neurotic and every single draw stroke you need to have a loaded gun? No, because you're training. But I need to develop the habit that I put this thing away so that should I need it, I know because of my systems, my processes, I don't know. Because of those, I know what this gun's going to look like when I pick it up. That's studious, right? A good carpenter always has nails, my uncle would say. A good chef has a sharp knife. A good surgeon knows what limb he's chopping on. Know your freaking job. My job is to protect me and mine. I'm going to take it seriously. Should I need to, on the very rare occasion, deploy this gun, I'm going to win. I'm going to die trying. If I get beat, I won't know I lost, as my buddy Jared Reston likes to say. If my gun goes empty, I will get it back up and running, which means I should carry a backup mag. I carry my backup mags in a Neo mag. My buddy's from Ohio. Great product. I've been carrying them for years. I was an early adopter of this. In fact, we've got to give them some input over the years, like the double magnet design. Why don't we do a reload with the Neo mag for you? Get my eyes and ears back on. We'll pull one out of here. I'll change the camera angle again. Let's try it with the little Neo mag carrier here. Can you get it done with that little mag carrier? Of course you can. To each his or her own. Know your gear. Know what you're training and why. I wouldn't spend tons of time on the range doing this. If I was going to, I would incorporate it into other drills or the totality of a bunch of movement like we were doing, so that I would get the most value. To stand on the range flat-footed and just do one reload, one drills is kind of a waste of life. It's a waste of range time, in my opinion, based on the totality of the data points that are available to us. It's not 5 or 10 data points, it's hundreds and hundreds of them. Do be careful how you analyze information. Look for the best stuff out there. Train hard. Train like your life depends on it, because that is, in fact, why we're doing this stuff. Be well. Don't be dickheads. Hope to see you guys on the range. And hey, drink Ignis Lux coffee. For F's sake, life is short and you shouldn't be drinking crap. Peace. Well, hey there, are you one of those folks that's like, it's morning, I'm gonna need my coffee before I can talk to you? Well, if that's you, I want you to try this Ignis Lux coffee. We roast this ourselves, roasted with love, primo stuff, and I guarantee If you don't like it, I will ignore your phone call and tell you to lose my number, but keep buying it because it's amazing. And if you don't like it, there's something wrong with you. No, but seriously, the guarantee is you're going to like it. Try it. Ignis Lux, Latin for firelight. It denotes that fire that burns in all of us, and my thought is, with everything that we do, let that fire blaze brightly, my friends, for as long as possible. Ciao.
Oh, hey.